Hello everyone, my name is Marco and today I'm gonna show you how to do a cell shading. So everything that you need for cell shading is just, basic brush or basic pen. I use G Pen, which is default brush in Clip Studio Paint, and you need paint bucket tool, and I use this one, refer only to editing layer, and this one refer to other layers, and this is my settings for the tool, and this is my settings for this tool right here. So next thing that you're gonna need is line art. If you want to know how to make good line art, first you have tutorial on my channel, so go there and watch it. After you finish the line art, make sure that every line is connected, because if some lines are disconnected, gonna spill out the color from line art. My lines are connected right now, so there's not that much spilling color except of this part right here that I just forget, but I'm gonna fix that later in the video. What you need to do next, we're gonna make flat colors. So how are we gonna do that? Make a new layer that is below this line art, and we're gonna use a selection tool. Next, we're gonna make a selection over our character. You can do this selection on a few different ways, but I use this one. So I'm just gonna skip this part until I finish the selection. I finished the selection. You can see this right here, these lines. So I'm using a polyline tool for selection, and now we're gonna use a paint bucket tool, and we're gonna use this first one, refer only to editing layer, and I'm gonna choose this gray color because just to make the difference between canvas and this layer. But you can also use the white one if you like, or every color that you prefer. When we painted this selection into gray, we're gonna make new layer, and we're gonna click this clip to layer below, and when we clip this layer, what's the good thing with this, you can actually paint only inside this layer that is below that one, so everything stays locked into this selection, which is really cool, and it's a real time saver. Now we're gonna start making flat colors. First we're gonna use a paint bucket, and we're gonna click refer other layers, and we're gonna choose, for example, skin color, and I'm gonna start painting. So make sure your line art is connected, to prevent color spilling out. See it like this. We're gonna just color everything. So the tricky part right here, I think I forgot to connect something here on the hair. I'm gonna see where did I mess up. Oh, I didn't forget. Good thing. Okay, there is maybe gonna be some parts that you can't reach with a paint bucket, so you need to manually fill these parts with a pen. I recommend you to do it with the pen, because pen don't change the opacity when you change the pen pressure. So yeah, I'm gonna finish making flat colors, and when I finish making flat colors, I'm gonna explain you the rest of the cell shading. So see you when I finish making flat colors. Okay, so I finished the flat coloring, and next thing what we're gonna do is cell shading. So make a new layer, and click here again for to clip layer. And the way of making cell shading is really simple. First we're gonna change this layer blending mode to multiply, because we're gonna get some transparency to our shadow. And I'm gonna first start with the skin, because I always started with the skin first. I'm gonna change the color. It's gonna be a bit warmer grayish tone, something like this. Yeah, I think it's a little bit too warm. Something like this. It's gonna be good. Okay, so how do you make cell shading? So first we're gonna make shape of the shadow with this tool right here with the pen. I'm using G pen, as I said. So we're gonna make this shape right here. And we're gonna connect this shape to make this outline of the shadow. And next we're gonna use refer only to editing layer, and this is my settings right here. Make sure you turn on area scaling and make sure you copy these settings, because settings is the most important thing for the cell shading. If you don't copy these settings, you might gonna have problems with the shading, because look at when I shade it like this, there is nothing here, but when I turn off area scaling, there is a little little gap between color and this outline, so it's look pretty ugly. So turn on area scaling and close gap to maximum, so it won't be any gap right here. And I'm gonna edit this a little bit. So this is the principle of doing cell shading. I'm gonna show you a little bit more things and tips and tricks that you can use with cell shading, but first I'm gonna finish the rest of the head. Okay, so I finished the whole head, and I add some shadow right here on the fur, and I finished all the shadows on the head. Basically I did the hair, and when doing like highlights, always do it on different layer, because if you do white colors, if you try to do white colors on the multiply layer, everything that's white is not gonna be visible. As you can see, I here using a white color, and it looks like I am using eraser. So always do it on separate layer like I am. So this is right here when I did it. Yeah, that's how cell shading works. But now I'm gonna show you how to make this cell shading more better. So first, to make cell shading, you first need to know shade, basically how lights and shadows work. I'm gonna erase this part here to make this triangle on the cheek, something like this. Okay, now when you have some corner like this, how can make this look much better? You can use the blur tool by clicking taster J twice. You can find this blur, and this is my settings right here, and you can just slightly blur the corners and edge of this shadow right here to make the softer shadow, because if you make more variations between hard and soft shadows, your artwork is gonna look more better, more realistic. And yeah, this is the way how you can make your artwork to look more better. And now I'm gonna show you the next thing. For that next thing, you're gonna need to make new layer, and again clip that new layer, and we're gonna use a soft brush tool or airbrush. We're gonna pick the color of the skin, the base color of skin. You can do this with anything like the clothing or hair. I'm just using a skin, like for example, and we use this. Just slightly spray it around the shadow, just to make these reflections. So I'm gonna spray it here. I'm gonna spray it here to make these reflections. Just look to not overdo this, because if you do it too much, it can look bad. So I can do it right here on the hair. I can do this a little bit here, and yeah, this is it. This is the whole tutorial. I show you everything that you basically need to know for the start. when you first try the cell shading. And yeah, if you find this video enjoyable or helpful, you can leave a subscribe and like. Also, you can follow me on social media. And yeah, that's it for today's tutorial. See you in the next video. Goodbye.